Picture this. You're sitting in front of your computer, looking at the machine, and you suddenly think, how do we actually make these things? That's exactly where a guy named Gobal Krishnan V found himself. He was just struck by this profound sense of wonder. I mean, how did humanity manage to tame what are essentially just magic rocks, silicon pulled straight from sand, and use them to power AI, robots, and literally launch spacecraft? It feels like pure science fiction, right? But it's happening every single day right on our desks.
And from that sense of wonder, a genuinely wild, ambitious question popped into his head. Can I build my own microchip at home? Like, could a regular person actually do what the world's biggest semiconductor companies do, but in a bedroom? Now, Gobal wasn't trying to, dethrone massive tech giants like Intel or TSMC. Not at all. He just wanted to uncover the actual hands-on engineering process behind the tech that literally runs our modern world. So, in this explainer, we're going to follow Gobal's insane home lab journey to reveal just how mind-boggling the scale and complexity of the semiconductor industry really is.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The DIY Microchip Dream. 2. Turning sand into silicon. 3. Battling the invisible enemies. 4. The billion-dollar difference. And finally 5. The ultimate human achievement.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the DIY Microchip Dream.
So, the fundamental building block of our entire modern world is the transistor. Now, Gobal's big goal here wasn't to build some glowing, super-intelligent AI brain from scratch. No, his primary objective was just to figure out how to etch exactly one of these microscopic electrical gates in his home setup. A transistor is, at its core, just a tiny little switch that controls the flow of electricity. That's it. When you jam billions of these switches together, they can calculate massive amounts of information, process images, and run complex AI models. But hey, before you can make billions, you've got to successfully make just one, right?
Moving right along to section 2, turning sand into silicon.
The pipeline to get there actually sounds beautifully simple, doesn't it? Sand becomes pure silicon, silicon becomes a transistor, transistors become a processor, and processors become an AI system. Boom, done. Well, Gobal learned pretty quickly that this clean little pipeline hides thousands of incredibly complicated steps. You can't just use any random silicon off the beach. A modern chip requires silicon that is almost perfectly pure. I'm talking so pure that even a microscopic amount of contamination will completely derail how the electrons move. He realized that purifying sand into semiconductor-grade material isn't a kitchen science project. It requires intense, industrial-level chemistry.
Which brings us to section 3, battling the invisible enemies.
As Gobal actually started building out his lab, the whole story shifted from, how do I do this, to, wow, this is nearly impossible. He found out the hard way that his biggest enemy wasn't a lack of know-how, it was dust. He has this great quote where he notes that his room looks clean to him, but to a microchip, his room is like a desert full of giant rocks. Literally, a single speck of dust, completely invisible to the human eye, can land on a microscopic circuit and just obliterate it, destroyed. Gobal realized that controlling the environment around the chip was honestly harder than designing the circuit itself. This is exactly why industrial companies spend millions upon millions on those crazy advanced cleanrooms.
And then there's the actual manufacturing process. To make a chip, you have to transfer your digital design onto the physical silicon using light. It's a process called photolithography. Gobal tried to do this using low-cost DIY UV exposure systems. He was sitting there, carefully trying to manually align the layers under a microscope. But here's the catch: if those layers shift even a fraction of a hair, the whole pattern is ruined. Now compare his home setup to the industry standard. We're talking about machines that cost hundreds of millions of dollars each. They offer nanometer-level accuracy that's unimaginably small, and they do it with perfect automation. A cheap home UV light just absolutely cannot hit the extreme precision required for a modern chip.
So, making a perfect working transistor means you have to survive an absolute gauntlet of microscopic errors. Handled the silicon even slightly wrong, scratches and contamination ruin the device. Misaligned your lithography, the whole circuit design is busted. Added the wrong chemical concentration, or maybe got the impurity levels wrong during the doping process, well, now your transistor is super slow and totally unstable. If you over-etch, you break the delicate structure. If you have a broken metal connection, the entire chip fails. It is literally a minefield of potential disasters at every single step.
Let's look at section 4, the billion-dollar difference.
To overcome all those microscopic monsters we just talked about, we have to look at the massive financial chasm between a hobbyist and a giant tech corporation. Gobal actually crunched the numbers to see what it would take to scale up, and the required resources just explode when you move from basic learning to actual mass production.
Just think about this. You can set up a decent home lab to learn the concepts for maybe $5,000 to $15,000. Not too bad, right? A serious hobby lab for simple devices? That might run you up to $100,000. A university lab doing reliable research scales up to around $2 million. But a modern AI chip factory? That leaps to between $10 and $20 billion, with a B.
Just take a second and think about the sheer weight of a number with that many zeros, $20 billion. It perfectly explains exactly why chips are so unbelievably expensive to develop and produce. The biggest cost isn't the silicon itself, it's everything around it. When you are looking at a price tag like $20 billion, you are paying for those massive clean rooms. You're paying for those extreme ultraviolet machines that cost well over $100 million a pop. You're paying for highly automated testing systems, and you're paying the salaries of thousands upon thousands of highly specialized engineers. Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, the ultimate human achievement. The crucial takeaway here is that semiconductor giants aren't just making chips. They are mass-producing perfection. Think about the crazy requirements here. A homemade chip that works for, say, 1 minute? That's an amazing, really fun science fair project. But a commercial processor? It has to compute flawlessly every single second of every single day for years on end. It has to be incredibly fast, it has to be highly power efficient so it doesn't just instantly drain your battery or melt in your hands, and it has to be relentlessly reliable. Because at the end of the day, building a microchip is not just some fun electronics project. It demands the absolute mastery of multiple, totally distinct scientific disciplines, all working together in perfect harmony. You need physics to control how the electrons behave. You need chemistry to modify the materials. You need material science to perfect the silicon itself. You need electrical engineering to design the intricate circuits. And you need unparalleled manufacturing precision and quality control just to make sure those billions of transistors are all completely identical. It truly requires an entire ecosystem of human knowledge.
Gobal's DIY journey teaches us an absolutely incredible lesson. While you for sure can make a simple, basic semiconductor device in a home laboratory just to figure out how it works, true industrial semiconductors are something vastly larger. They are literally the physical manifestation of immense scientific research and staggering capital investment. It's wild to think about, but the absolute smallest devices in the world truly do require the largest collective human effort to create.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. The next time you look down at your smartphone or you load up some new AI application, take a second to ask yourself how humanity managed to conquer this almost unimaginable challenge. We somehow took sand, purified it, and perfectly etched billions of microscopic switches into it just to put an absolute miracle right there in your pocket. It is, without a doubt, one of the greatest engineering achievements in human history.